Hi everyone, my name is Michael Jenkin and I'm making this podcast to discuss my internship that I've just completed and to provide hands-on experience information to students that are perhaps wishing to complete an internship in the future. So first I want to talk about how I actually got the internship. Um, Unlike other students who acquire theirs through the university, I got mine from a family friend. And he basically said that the guy from the company said it was okay for me to do it. We just needed to arrange a time and a place. And at that stage, I thought it was going to be as simple as that. And then I told the university about it, and they informed me that I needed to go through the process like any other student in order to be able to apply for the internship. So that would be my number one piece of advice. Don't think that because you know someone in another industry, it's going to happen for you straight away. Um, as I learned, the actual process from talking to the university that first day to the start date of my internship probably was 2.5 months even. So you need to allow yourself plenty of time, to go through that whole process. Uh, the online module was the first thing that I had to complete, which took a hell of a lot of persistence because there were a whole range of different activities and quizzes that you had to get through. But I would thoroughly recommend students to do this in detail, as I learned multiple valuable lessons from this. After doing the online module, I had an application form which I had to hand in, or actually there were multiple application forms. I had to arrange a meeting with JobShop, and that took about 2 or 3 weeks to book an appointment for that, as I had to discuss my resume, which I filled out on the online module. And there were many other documents as well that had to be approved by the uni and then approved by the organisation as well. So you really do need to allow a lot of time before planning these sort of things for all the documents to go through from one organisation through to the uni. I didn't actually face too many problems throughout my experience at the internship, and I guess that was probably to do with the fact that I had an amazing team that I was working with. But the one thing that I would say is that I had a few experiences or a few occasions where I was left on my own in the room, and I was unaware of how to answer the phone or in what manner to answer the phone. And it was quite daunting because obviously I didn't want to allow myself to decrease the company's reputation by saying the wrong thing to the wrong person on the phone. So, had I had my time over again, I definitely would have asked someone beforehand, what manner do I answer the phone in, what do I say, that sort of thing. This is just a metaphor for, that the vitalness of communication and being proactive and asking questions at the right time because, people wouldn't hold that against you. And I think that that's just a feeling that a lot of people had, myself included. I felt as if I didn't want to overdo the asking the questions. I wanted to show initiative, but sometimes you just need to ask, and that's the best way to overcome the problems with clear, concise communication. I work for a company called SOCOM Communications, and they deal with PR issues and crisis management. And I predominantly prepared documents or amended documents for my colleagues while I was there. And I also managed their social media websites, which included LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Occasionally, I was also asked to join the team on a real life crisis, which, you know, showed me what it was all about, showed me what the industry was all about. And one of the experiences that I had when I first started was having to write an apology letter for a sporting website which had plagiarized some work earlier in that day. And basically, their company had gone into meltdown, and they called our company up all worried and said, look, we've got this problem. One of our journalists has plagiarized something. People are writing complaint letters. People are doing this, that, and we basically need you to formulate an apology for us within the hour and send it back to us. And then David, my director, just came up to me and said, "Well, would you mind having a go at drafting it?" And I had an attempt, and obviously the team helped me make a few amendments to that. And within, I think, half an hour, we'd sent it back to the company, and 5 minutes later, it was on their website. This apology that had been issued for all their readers, and it was really just an amazing experience to see how quickly our team had to operate and the time constraints that they have to deal with on a constant basis. So I found that particularly fascinating. Yeah, the highlight of the trip for me actually came on the last day when David came up to me and asked me if I wanted to join him in a meeting. He had a meeting arranged with a dairy safety company, and he said, come along, it'll be a good experience. You don't have to say anything. And I thought, all right, here we go. And anyway, I got there, and I thought it was going to be a casual sort of a meeting, and then anyway, before I know it, David's introducing me to the CEO of the company, the executive directors, and many more important officials within the company. So it was a very interesting experience, to say the least. One of the things that SOCOM does is it prepares companies for crisis through a simulation program. So the company comes, they have this simulation, and basically it's designed to test the companies out and see how they would go in a time of crisis in order to prepare them for the future. So David had performed a review of this company to see how they were to deal with one, and he went on to give his recommendations, which included asking the CEO to essentially tone down her authority and listen to the input of others within the company more often. And, as you can imagine, this didn't go down too well due to her fiery and controlling nature. But, looking at the situation from an onlooker's point of view, it really was like viewing two gladiators fiercely contesting a duel in the Colosseum. And yeah, it was great to gain this sort of experience. I wasn't actually contributing to the conversation as such. I was just sitting in there observing, but it was just the observing and the witnessing and watching it all unfold that was just as important in terms of being a learning experience. And this is the sort of thing. Another recommendation I could make to people is when you're undergoing your internship, you should ask to do whatever opportunity you can, participate in any activity, and really try and step out of your comfort zone, because that's what I had to do in that day, and that actually probably turned out to be the most invaluable experience of the whole internship. In conclusion, as I said before, make sure you take any opportunity you can. If you're not sure about whether to do an internship or not, or how to go about it, all I can say is get in contact with Deakin University. Talk to one of the people there. They'll help you out. They'll put you on the right path to finding your ideal internship. And with so many jobs these days demanding experience in the line of work, it's absolutely imperative to take any opportunity that comes your way. Internship, and you get it. My piece of advice would be keep a record of what you learn. I did mine in a diary, or sort of in a journal, and wrote down each day what I did and the activities that I underwent, and so and so. But it doesn't have to be in a diary. You could just jot down on notes. You could write it on your phone or your iPad or your laptop or whatever you have. And it's just useful for in the internship. You have a problem or a problem that arises. You've got your notes to look on. And then the other thing is, once you finish your internship, especially if the internship was in the line of work that you're wishing to pursue once you finish university, you've always got those notes to look on and use as a point of reference. So can't recommend that enough. So that's all I have for today. I hope you really enjoyed listening to my podcast, and hopefully found some of the information useful in some way or another. So hopefully you can apply it to your own internship one day. And once again, thank you for listening.